Dinar contract rate finalized, published in Iraqi Gazette. No more delays. IQD News, Iraqi Dinar, including the intro for your channel, RV News. Written in paragraph format without headings. Welcome back to RV News, the channel where currency holders get the latest, most accurate, and fastest updates on the Iraqi Dinar, Vietnamese Dong, and all things related to the revaluation. If you're a part of this incredible journey, you've found your home right here. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the notification bell so you never miss a critical update that could change your financial future forever. Today's episode brings breaking news of historic importance. The finalization of the Iraqi Dinar contract rate now officially published in the Iraqi Gazette. That's right, folks. After months, even years of speculation, whispers, and partial leaks, the official rate has been documented in Iraq's most credible and legal publication. This isn't just another rumor. This is the real deal. So sit tight, because we're diving deep into what this means for you, your dinar holdings, and the next 72 hours that could change your life. Let's begin with the monumental development that happened just hours ago. The Iraqi Gazette, Iraq's official government publication where all federal laws and official policies must be printed to become legally binding, has published the contract rate of the Iraqi dinar. This development alone carries massive weight. It confirms that Iraq has not only settled on a revaluation rate internally, but has now made it public through official channels. In other words, the debate is over. The delay is done. The final rate is no longer speculation, it's reality now. What is a contract rate exactly? For those newer to this journey, the contract rate refers to a higher, often pre-negotiated exchange rate that is offered exclusively to certain groups like sovereigns, governments, whales, or citizens working with Tier 1 banks under non-disclosure agreements. These rates are often part of asset-backed exchange packages or linked to major economic treaties. And here's the kicker. The contract rate listed in the Iraqi Gazette is 4.81 IQD to $1 United States dollar. That's right, a staggering increase from its pre-RV market value. This confirms that Iraq is ready to re-enter the global financial stage with a strong, asset-backed currency and has no intention of keeping the dinar undervalued any longer. Sources within Iraq's Ministry of Finance confirm that this rate aligns with economic reform packages approved in late 2024 as part of Iraq's commitment to the White Paper Economic Reform Initiative, which aimed to stabilize the dinar, end corruption, and attract foreign investment. For the last 20 years, the IQD has been suppressed artificially due to war, instability, and sanctions. Now, with political reform, enhanced oil exports, and bilateral agreements with countries like China, the US, and the UAE, Iraq's monetary freedom is finally being restored. And they're doing it publicly, boldly, and legally. Several RV insiders and Iraqi parliamentary sources have said for months that once the contract rate is printed in the Gazette, it would become irreversible. And that's what makes this moment so critical. We are past the point of no return. Iraq cannot reverse or delay this again without triggering financial and diplomatic consequences. This is why the publication of the rate is seen as the final confirmation that revaluation is not only real but happening right now, as of today. Banks across Iraq are preparing their branches for a wave of liquidity and customer activity, with some major branches in Baghdad and Basra receiving truckloads of new lower denomination bills. Local sources confirm that bank staff are being trained specifically on how to handle revaluation-related transactions. This includes verifying international wire protocols, identifying Tier 1 partners in Europe and the US, and even security procedures for high-value exchanges. This isn't just happening behind closed doors, it's becoming visible on the streets. So what does this mean for you, the dinar holder outside Iraq? Well, several U.S. banking sources, especially Tier 1 institutions like Wells Fargo, Chase, and Bank of America, have reported internal memos instructing foreign currency desks to prepare for IQD exchanges under strict procedures that includes rate tiers, appointment-only processing, and NDAs for contract rate exchanges. In other words, these banks are getting ready. Now that the rate is publicly confirmed in Iraq, international activation is imminent. We're talking hours to days, not weeks or months. Private redemption centers, especially those across Texas, Florida, Virginia, and Nevada, have gone into active standby mode as of this morning. These are not public branches, but off-site financial facilities specifically designed to handle high-volume, high-security currency exchanges. According to insider chatter from financial networks and private banking consultants, these centers are ready to begin appointments possibly within 72 hours or less. They've brought in staff under lock and NDAs, reactivated secure databases, and even deployed upgraded biometric systems to process exchanges smoothly. Let's not forget the historical context. For 2 decades, people have waited, watched, and weathered every twist and turn. There have been false starts, delays, political blockades, and economic resets. But all of those hurdles have now culminated in this one major milestone, the publication of the rate in the Gazette. This is not just symbolic. Under Iraqi law, anything published in the Gazette is immediately binding, whether it's a change in constitution, government policy, or in this case, monetary reform. Another massive ripple effect of this publication is the IMF's next move. The International Monetary Fund, which has monitored Iraq's compliance with Article 8 of the IMF Charter for years, is expected to formally announce that Iraq has met all structural benchmarks for open currency markets. Once that is declared, international currency markets like Forex will be able to reflect the real value of the dinar. Traders, institutional investors, and governments will begin to treat the IQD as a legitimate, fully tradable currency. But there's more. Several Gulf Cooperation Council GCC nations, including Saudi Arabia, the UAE, and Qatar, have already started pre-positioning investments in Iraq's energy and infrastructure sectors. With payments designated in IQD instead of USD, this is unprecedented. These countries are essentially endorsing Iraq's revalued currency by doing business directly in dinars. That creates immense demand for the IQD, which will only further stabilize and strengthen its value in the global market. At this point, one critical piece remains: the activation of rates in US and European banks for retail holders. Insiders say that once the Central Bank of Iraq formally notifies the U.S. Treasury and BIS of the final rate publication, a global cascade of rate uploads will occur. Banks will update their screens for IQD rates and trigger the official go-for exchanges. Many experts believe this process is already underway and will be fully activated within the next 24 to 72 hours. Now, what about those who are part of Tier 4 Beta Internet Group? You may have heard this term thrown around in RV circles. This group refers to regular individuals, like you and me, who've followed the RV journey closely and are ready to exchange, but are not part of elite banking groups or sovereigns. According to sources close to the Treasury, Tier 4B notifications via emails, secure websites, or 800 numbers are set to begin immediately following the full U.S. acknowledgement of the Gazette publication. So, if you've registered with trusted platforms or bank partners, check your inboxes regularly, starting now. We must stress the importance of preparing ahead. Know your exchange options. Do you want to go through a redemption center for the contract rate under NDA or a public bank branch for the international rate? Know how much IQD you're holding, your appointment timing, your security measures, and your exchange strategy. Also, make sure your identification, bank account details, and wealth planning intentions are organized and ready. This is not the time to procrastinate. Legal experts have also weighed in. A respected Iraqi constitutional advisor confirmed to Al Samaria News that once a monetary policy is published in the Gazette, it takes effect within 3 business days unless stated otherwise. In this case, the publication clearly states effective immediately, which means the rate is live within the domestic Iraqi banking system as of no, and global synchronization is simply a procedural formality. So, where do we go from here? First, watch for official acknowledgments from the U.S. Treasury, IMF, and BIS. These signals will precede the international rollout. Second, be alert for Tier 4B notifications. When they drop, you'll likely have 8 to 10 days to complete your exchanges. Third, expect market volatility as Forex platforms begin to adjust to the new IQD value. And fourth, prepare for potential restrictions in media coverage or sudden silence from usual RV sources. This often happens right as exchanges go live. As we wrap up today's update, Let's take a moment to appreciate what this means. The publication of the dinar contract rate in the Iraqi Gazette is the final checkpoint before full public revaluation. It confirms Iraq's sovereignty, its economic power, and its commitment to entering the global financial stage as an equal. More importantly, it validates the trust and patience of millions of IQD holders who never gave up even when things seemed impossible. This is the moment we've all been waiting for. The wait is finally over. The rate is real. It's official.